My roommate, the freeloader. One afternoon, because Lucy was busy, I eagerly volunteered to buy her a bowl of cold noodles from the school cafeteria. After purchasing and bringing it back, I expected a thank you. But to my surprise, my friend only paid me back much later. The sum of $11.5 wasn't huge, especially compared to an adult's income, but for a student like me, still financially dependent on my family, it wasn't a small amount either. To be polite, I sent Lucy an embarrassed emoji along with a message. Lucy, when will you transfer the noodle money? Do you need me to buy anything for you tonight? To my astonishment, Lucy replied only with a puzzling question mark, then immediately transferred exactly $11.5. Curious, I opened the transaction details and froze when I read the accompanying note, scamming small amounts. Feeling something was off, I quickly messaged Lucy again. Haha, what a strange note you wrote. Is that a new online meme? But the message wouldn't send. The system flashed a bright red error. Lucy had blocked me. Just then, my desk mate urgently tapped my shoulder, holding out her phone to me. Mia, what's the meaning of Lucy's story? Who's made her so angry? I glanced at the screen, which showed a monkey secretly stabbing another monkey in the back, accompanied by an enigmatic caption. The water is too hot, I dare not drink it. People's hearts are too cold, I dare not touch them. Coupled with being blocked by Lucy, I immediately understood she was subtly referring to me. I instantly picked up my phone and called Lucy. It took a while before she finally answered. I asked gently, Lucy, what did you mean by that story? The cold noodles cost $11, the container 50 cents, totaling $11.5. I didn't take an extra cent from you. Are you unhappy about something? A sarcastic chuckle echoed from the other end of the line. You knew I was unhappy, yet you still dared to accept the transfer? Why pretend to care so much now? I began to feel confused, mixed with annoyance. Why couldn't I accept it? That was money I paid for you. Lucy immediately flared up. Fine, if you want to take it, but from now on, we're not friends anymore. Do whatever you want. With that, she hung up rudely. When I called back, I got a number unreachable message. I had been blocked again. Just then, my desk mate spoke up again. She posted another story. On the screen was a short, bitter message. One meal reveals true hearts, so worth it. I was so furious I nearly fainted on the spot. I had clearly been kind enough to buy her lunch. No one had said I would treat her. Yet, not treating her somehow became my fault. Helping someone only to be scolded? Was I supposed to pay for her meal just because I bought it for her? I wasn't one to back down either. I decided to immediately post a screenshot of Lucy's transfer transaction on my story, along with a sarcastic caption. Urgent, urgent. Everyone, I think my roommate Lucy's account has been hacked. She got scammed for $11.5 for a bowl of cold noodles. Did I get her scammed by buying it for her, or did the canteen owner scam both of us without me knowing? Seriously, can anyone explain this? Less than 5 minutes after posting, the cold noodle vendor messaged me privately. Hey kiddo, I never overcharge anyone. My noodles always cost $11, and the plastic container is an extra 50 cents. Everyone knows this. My conscience is clear, I've never scammed anyone. I quickly messaged back to explain. Uncle, it's not your fault. The thing is, I bought noodles for my roommate, and she transferred money to me, then put scamming small amounts in the note. Not only that, she unfriended me and posted stories subtly badmouthing me. I was so angry, that's why I posted it. I'll delete it immediately. Surprisingly, the vendor stopped me. Why delete it? What kind of roommate treats her friends so maliciously? He continued, I saw the transfer screenshot and heard your story, and I'm outraged on your behalf. It's clear she just wanted a free meal. She's truly a terrible person. He added, delivery drivers out there even charge for shipping, but she wants a free meal? I hope she gets a stomachache and diarrhea after eating my noodles. Hearing that, I laughed until my stomach hurt. But I also managed to remind him, Uncle, you forgot? What if she really gets a stomachache and blames it on you? In truth, this wasn't the first time Lucy had behaved this way. Before, our group of 4 went for hot pot at a riverside restaurant. After splitting the bill, each person had to pay about $50 and some change. Since I was the one paying and had a discount code, I gave the cashier exactly $51. The moment Lucy saw this, she spoke up. Mia, you overpaid by 70 cents, didn't you? Well, then I don't need to give you my 30 cents. You're so kind. And she transferred me exactly $50. Thinking back, Perhaps being blocked by Lucy now was a good thing. A friend like that was nothing to regret. Just then, the cold noodle vendor sent me his latest story. I quickly tapped to view it. On the screen was a photo of the shop's price list. My cold noodles are $11 a bowl, container 50 cents. Prices are clearly listed, everyone knows. The uncle also called out, "Anyone who knows a girl named Lucy, please contact her for me." Someone helped her buy food, charged absolutely nothing extra, practically did it for free. Yet for $11.5, she claims it's a scam. I'm truly speechless, utterly at a loss for words. My story post immediately caused a storm among my close friends, sparking heated discussions. Comments under my post popped up like mushrooms after rain. "Mia, quickly send Lucy the screenshot of the transaction. Let's see who's really trying to scam people." Another commented, "Clearly she wanted a free meal, didn't pay, and then went online to complain and tell tall tales. It's just like those unconditional refund scams from online food delivery apps." Someone else wrote, "I truly admire the thickness of her skin. I won't have it in this lifetime. Guess I'll have to wait until the next." Surprisingly, thanks to this $11.5 cold noodle incident, the cold noodle vendor's sales skyrocketed and his profits soared. He happily told me, "Little Mia, I'd like to piggyback on your popularity a bit to promote my shop, okay? What do you think? Don't worry, I won't let you lose out. From now on, whenever you come to my shop for cold noodles, I'll treat you for free." My close friends in class also messaged me privately, praising me for being epic and cool. Everyone knew Lucy had a habit of freeloading. This time, I exposed her directly on my story, which was nothing short of a public shaming that left her with no face. That day was Friday, and we were allowed to leave school freely without permission. So I took the opportunity to pack my belongings, shouldering my backpack to go home and relax for the weekend. However, before I even stepped out of the school gate, Lucy rushed out and roughly grabbed my wrist. She was wearing slippers, her face panicked, clearly having run frantically from the dormitory. "Mia, can you please delete that story? Someone has already screenshotted it and posted it on the school's confession page." "I'm so humiliated," she stammered. I tried to suppress the anger bubbling inside me, shaking her hand off decisively. "Why should I delete it? I kindly bought you food. Not only were you ungrateful, but you blocked me, then went online to subtly mock and badmouth me with all sorts of things. Why weren't you afraid of being humiliated then?" I intentionally spoke loudly to attract the attention of those around us, causing many curious people to stop and listen in. Seeing this, Lucy quickly pulled me into a secluded corner, lowering her voice to plead. All right, Mia, what are you doing? I was just joking earlier this afternoon. Why are you being so petty? Don't be angry anymore, I'm sorry. I know I was a bit hot-headed then, okay?" But I maintained a poker face, causing her initially smiling expression to shift, gradually turning into annoyance. It was dismissal time, and we were standing right in the middle of a crossroads, where the canteen met the school gate with many students passing by, making it very noisy. I clearly heard snippets of murmuring from the crowd. "Isn't that Lucy, the girl who got exposed on the school's confession page the other day?" Another person interjected. "The one where her roommate bought her food, and then she called it a scam for $11.5, right?" If I heard it, Lucy heard it too. Her face flushed crimson from her ears down to her neck, looking incredibly embarrassed. As the crowd grew larger, she suddenly sat down on the ground and began to cry hysterically, as if someone had cruelly bullied her. "Mia, you know how close we are. That note on the transfer was just a joke. Why would you post something that's not true, deliberately trying to ruin my reputation?" She put on such a deep act that some male students, unaware of the full story, began to speak up in her defense, taking her side. Exactly. Who would be so stingy as to argue over $11.5? If I found that amount of money, I wouldn't even bother bending down to pick it up. Your roommates, after all. I think Mia is deliberately slandering her. Another said, "That note was clearly just a trending meme online. Girls are really petty." A few even stepped forward to help Lucy stand up. Seeing her plan succeed, Lucy feigned leaning on a male student's shoulder, her eyes welling up with tears as she looked at me with a pained expression. "Mia, I didn't realize you couldn't take a joke. I guess I misjudged our relationship. I'm sorry." Before I could even open my mouth to explain, the hero saving the beauty turned to glare at me angrily. "Her roommate has already apologized. What more do you want? Do you want the whole school to turn against her and attack her? Have some shame." Lucy, standing beside them, skillfully added fuel to the fire to make things worse. "It's okay, guys. It's my fault. I joked at the wrong time. Please don't blame my friend anymore." But this statement only encouraged the guys further to protect their princess, showering me with insults without mercy. Just then, the cold noodle vendor, returning from outside school with supplies, drove past and witnessed this chaotic scene. Without a word, still wearing his flour-stained apron, he grabbed a large noodle ladle and smacked each of the guys on their bottoms, making them yelp in pain. As for Lucy, the mastermind behind it all, the uncle scooped a whole ladle of cold noodles and dumped it on her head, incidentally giving her a unique hairstyle that no one else could possibly have. "This young girl, so young yet so malicious, doesn't she love free meals? Today you can eat until you're satisfied." The uncle hit harder and harder, his face filled with murderous intent. Lucy was so scared she started crying. "Uncle, please don't hit me anymore. I won't eat cold noodles again. I promise." The uncle gave her a sharp glare, then turned to make the guys from earlier apologize to me immediately. After that, the uncle stepped forward and addressed the surrounding crowd with a stern voice. "I don't understand these trendy games you young people play, but I know one thing for sure. The first story that caused all this was posted by Lucy, not this poor girl Mia. If you want to defend someone, please find out the whole truth first." Hearing those sharp words, the male students who had been so eager earlier now hung their heads, slinking away in shame, feeling utterly humiliated. Just then, the school security guard also arrived. He used a stern voice to disperse the gathering crowd. "School's over. Why are you all standing around in groups? Those who live at home, go home. Those in the dorms, quickly return to the dorms." And so, the crowd gradually dispersed, each going their separate way, leaving only Lucy standing there, her eyes fixed on me with resentment, muttering threateningly, "Mia, just you wait, you'll pay for this." I couldn't be bothered to pay attention to her words. Why should I let someone like her ruin my happy weekend? After that commotion, Lucy's days were far from pleasant. Every time she went to the canteen to buy food, the vendors would subtly mock her. "Oh, little girl, when you pay, remember not to write scamming small amounts on the receipt, okay? Small shops like ours can't handle it." And trying to ask someone to buy food for her was simply impossible. Her other two roommates, whenever Lucy asked them to buy food, would come up with all sorts of excuses, like severe stomachaches or fear of their unpleasant foot odor contaminating the food. Of course, with her thick skin and rather pretty face, Lucy quickly found a few male students willing to subsidize her food. It seemed like everything would end peacefully there. But then one weekend, when I had just returned to school, I immediately bumped into my roommate, Chloe. She frowned as she approached. I quickly stopped her, teasing, "Princess, why is our Chloe so gloomy today? Not like your usual cheerful self at all, is it?" Chloe let out a long sigh. "You probably don't know what happened yet. Ever since the commotion the other day, the uncle at the canteen absolutely refuses to sell food to Lucy anymore." Hearing that, I clapped my hand over my mouth, trying to stifle a giggle. Well, she deserves it, doesn't she? A bowl of cold noodles labeled scam, who dare sell to her? Chloe mischievously tapped my head lightly. "It's not as simple as you think. Because no one would buy food for her, she started befriending male students in school. Every night, she calls and flirts with them until late, making Julia and me lose sleep all night." I comforted her. "It's okay. If she makes noise again tonight, we'll report it to the dorm supervisor, then ask for her to be transferred to another dorm." Hearing me say that, Chloe's face immediately brightened. That evening, as I stepped into the room, Lucy acted as if she didn't know me. She sneered, "Living together for a year doesn't even compare to a few new boyfriends. They buy me food and no one asks for money." I ignored her words. As long as she didn't make noise, it was fine. But who knew, from 8 p.m. onwards, she started calling people one by one, giggling sweetly. "Honey, I want spicy food tomorrow. Remember to add lots of chili, okay? Sleep well, my love." As soon as she hung up, she smirked at me and proceeded to call the next person. By 11 p.m., I couldn't take it anymore. Along with Julia and Chloe, we approached Lucy and loudly said, "Lucy, that's enough. What time is it? If you're not sleeping, you should at least let others sleep." Not only did she not stop, she even turned her phone camera towards us, laughing and saying, "Honey, look, my roommates are jealous of me. Look at that girl's SpongeBob pajamas, so tacky." I immediately covered my face in embarrassment. "Are you crazy? Turn that off now." Julia, wearing her nightgown, shrieked and quickly jumped into bed, pulling the blanket over her head. But Lucy continued to sing song. "See, their legs are as thick as elephant legs." I was truly speechless with her. I lunged forward, snatched the phone from Lucy's hand, and ended the video call. She tried to snatch her phone back, but Chloe quickly held her tight. I looked at Lucy coldly and said, "Lucy, that's enough, it's very late. If it weren't so late, I would have called the dorm supervisor already. We don't want to share a room with you anymore." Julia poked her head out from under the blanket, nodding furiously in agreement. "I agree to have her moved out immediately." Lucy gritted her teeth. "We've been friends for so long, and you just gang up and abandon me? I only wanted you to help me buy food. I should just move out then." "Why bother staying with three bitches like you?" We didn't bother arguing with her anymore. We waited until morning, then went straight to the faculty office to request a dorm change. Fortunately, Lucy didn't cause any more trouble during the day. After the dorm supervisor arranged for her transfer, Lucy even called a few male students to help her move her belongings. She didn't forget to instruct them. "Let me tell you guys, if I'm dating, I'll definitely choose the person who treats me best. This is a test. Within 1 month, I'll choose the most suitable person to be my boyfriend." Chloe, Julia, and I exchanged glances, all feeling speechless at her shamelessness. However, her new dorm wasn't as lenient as ours. Lucy continued her old habits, still calling and flirting with different guys every night. Her new roommates initially reminded her a few times, but seeing that she didn't listen, they decisively posted a live stream link on Instagram stories with a sarcastic caption. "A professional flirt currently residing in my dorm." When they clicked to watch the live stream, it was just a black screen, but her sweet voice talking on the phone was clearly audible. The online community immediately erupted with excited comments. "Oh, that voice on the phone sounds so familiar. It's like the roommate next door. I have to go check what he's doing." Another person sighed. "Oh my God, Lucy, you just told me you were going to sleep, but you're secretly calling someone else to chat." And then, a heartbroken shout suddenly echoed from the other end of the phone call. "Didn't you say I was your favorite among all the guys who bought you food? Why are you lying to me?" It was at this moment that Lucy began to realize the situation was not good at all, knowing she had been played by her roommate. She immediately erupted into a fierce argument with her pseudo-boyfriend. The ironic thing was that the live stream was still ongoing, and online viewers quickly contacted the school's dorm supervisor. The supervisor, woken up in the middle of the night, became furious when she heard reports of Lucy's two-timing antics causing a commotion, and without hesitation, sternly warned her. "If you pull these ridiculous stunts again, don't blame me for calling your parents to school." After that commotion, the group of gallant boys gradually dispersed. No one was eager to buy food for Lucy anymore. One morning, as I woke up and was about to go to the canteen for breakfast, I unexpectedly received a message from the cold noodle vendor. "Mia, come get some noodles, kiddo. There's a good show for you today." Without delay, I rushed to the canteen and witnessed 3 male students blocking Lucy right at the canteen entrance, demanding money. It turned out these 3 were the very boys who had taken turns buying all sorts of things for Lucy. While others only bought a little, these 3 splurged generously, buying fresh flowers, cakes, everything imaginable. Now, Lucy stood with a tightly covered meal in her hand, her face furious as she looked at the 3 of them. "You bought those things entirely voluntarily. I didn't force anyone. I made it clear that buying food was just an opportunity for you to pursue me, not an automatic path to becoming my boyfriend." The 3 boys' faces turned beet red with anger. One shouted loudly, "Opportunity for what? You promised you'd only call and chat with me every night. Turns out I was just one of 10. If you're going to scam people's feelings, you have to return the money." Lucy, of course, refused to pay. Seeing that the 3 boys wouldn't back down, she resorted to her usual tactic, sitting on the floor and crying dramatically. "Everyone come see. Just because a girl refuses to be someone's girlfriend, they demand money for food. Is there any justice in this world? Boo-hoo." However, Lucy had become too infamous on the school's confession page due to her bad reputation. Even those who rarely checked it knew her face. So no one wanted to defend her anymore. Her crying act failing, Lucy's eyes widened, and she shouted, starting to pull at their shirts. "Do you believe me? I'll call the police and sue you for harassment right now." The 3 boys were originally kind and shy. If they hadn't been so utterly frustrated and deceived, they wouldn't have caused such a scene. Seeing Lucy going berserk, they gritted their teeth and walked away bitterly. The cold noodle vendor brought me a steaming bowl of noodles. "Your roommate really has no shame." The uncle not only treated me to noodles, but also had a favor to ask. He awkwardly scratched his head, his face full of wrinkles, making me almost choke on my noodles. I quickly took a big gulp of water to compose myself. "Uncle, just say it directly. Your beating around the bush is making me uncomfortable." He blushed and gave a forced laugh. "Well, it's like this. I want to ask you to help me deliver noodles to the girls' dormitory, okay?" It turned out that after Lucy's commotion, the number of customers coming to the uncle's noodle shop suddenly increased significantly. And with the scorching weather, everyone wanted to eat something cool and refreshing. But because of the intense sun, students were too lazy to go down to the canteen to buy food. Asking a roommate to buy for them also made everyone awkward, fearing it could easily cause conflict. The uncle sighed. "I can't blame them either. Living together, you have to show consideration, and everyone has their own things to do." He pondered. "How about you take on an extra job as a runner, like a food delivery person? I'll pay you extra." Hearing this, I thought it was an excellent idea. Previously, when I bought food for Lucy, I wasn't happy at all. Sometimes after eating, I planned to go for a walk, but then had to rush back to deliver her food, fearing it would get cold and lose its taste. Moreover, I really needed extra income. Wanting to buy new clothes or good makeup meant my wallet would be empty instantly, and asking my parents for money felt embarrassing. I nodded in agreement immediately. The uncle was delighted. "I have the contact information for most of my regular noodle eaters. I'll consolidate orders into a group chat and send you the room list for delivery. Each portion of noodles I sell for $12.5. I earn $1 profit, which is the service fee. I'll add more for you. You'll get $2 per portion. Can you handle that?" I agreed immediately without hesitation. $2 per order, a few orders at once, and that's already $10. Running up and down for about 15 minutes, the hourly wage would be around $40, much better than handing out flyers on the street. So, from then on, every lunchtime, I wore the cold noodle shop uniform and began my job as a noodle delivery person. But things were not as easy as I had imagined, and the income wasn't as high as I'd dreamed. On a lucky day, I might earn about $50, but even that was enough to make me happy. Every day I walked back and forth between the canteen and the dormitories, and Lucy quickly discovered my new job. That day I was carrying 6 portions of cold noodles. As I stepped into the elevator, she used her foot to block the door from closing. I was out of breath, my hands busy and unable to put the noodles down, so I tried to ask gently, "Lucy, are you taking the elevator? If so, say something, otherwise, please let me go up first. Don't block the elevator door anymore." At this, she pretended to just notice me, offering a faint smile. "What's the rush? I'm waiting for a friend." She continued with an arrogant tone, "Who says the dorm only has one elevator? Just wait a little longer." As if the elevator belonged to her. Honestly, I had no other choice but to stand there and try to be patient. Glancing at my watch, I realized 2 minutes had passed, and there was still no sign of her friend. Feeling impatient, I gently suggested, "How about you go ahead? I'll go deliver and come back down in about a minute and a half. Your friend can wait a little longer if she arrives after." To my surprise, my friendly suggestion was met with a cold HMPH, and she didn't even bother to glance at me. "What kind of talk is that? Why should my friend wait, but you don't have to? If you can't wait, take the stairs." It was then that I suddenly realized she was intentionally making things difficult for me. Anger flared in my chest, but I tried to suppress it, not wanting to argue with her at that moment. If the cold noodles were left for too long, the ice would melt, ruining their unique, delicious flavor. If customers complained about the quality, my wages would be docked. So, I gritted my teeth, carried the noodle boxes, and climbed the stairs. Behind me, Lucy chuckled and whistled merrily, clearly feeling very smug. But karma spares no one. I was still panting as I reached the 6th floor, delivered all the cold noodles to the customers, and planned to quickly catch the elevator down. To my surprise, when I arrived, I saw a group of other students waiting for the elevator with frustrated, annoyed expressions. "Is this elevator broken today or something? We've been standing here for almost 5 minutes, and it hasn't moved at all." At that moment, I just wanted to scream. It turned out Lucy, fearing I would use the elevator to go down, had been deliberately blocking it on the 1st floor the whole time. Seeing my friends tiredly waiting for the elevator, I couldn't hold back anymore and spoke up. "I know why the elevator isn't coming up." And so, I led the group of friends down the stairs together. As soon as we reached the first floor, I saw Lucy still arrogantly using her foot to block the elevator door, preventing it from closing. The entire group of students turned purple with rage, angrily rushing forward to confront her. "Are you crazy? In this damn hot weather, you're blocking the elevator. Do you want everyone to suffocate?" Lucy glanced at me, her eyes becoming malicious and venomous. "Oh, how scary. Mia, you don't have the guts to face me alone, so you bring people to bully me." Before she could even finish her sentence, *bop, one of the girls in the group slapped her straight across the face. "Are you awake now? It's boiling hot, and you're making people climb stairs? Is there something wrong with your head?" Stunned by the painful slap, Lucy shrieked like a wild animal, intending to lunge and attack the girl. Just as she stomped her foot hard on the elevator floor *thump*, the elevator suddenly stopped working, and the red indicator light flashed continuously. When the dorm supervisor and elevator technician arrived, they immediately decided to contact Lucy's parents to come to school to resolve the issue, seeing that Lucy was once again the cause of the problem. As a result, Lucy was publicly reprimanded in front of all the students in the school and simultaneously lost her entire special financial aid for students in difficult circumstances. Her parents were also deeply disappointed, declaring they would no longer provide her with any money. This was because the cost of repairing the elevator this time had swallowed up $5,000. Without her financial aid, Lucy had no pocket money left. All the part-time jobs around the school were already taken, so she had to set her sights on my delivery job. Seeing her feigned pitiful expression, I replied coldly, "Begging me is useless. I only deliver cold noodles. On a busy day, I might get 50 or 60 orders at most. If you join, what orders would I have left to do?" Moreover, she knew very well that the cold noodle vendor would never hire someone like her. Struck in her sensitive spot, Lucy scoffed, "Who needs to beg you? The world won't stop turning without you, will it?" I didn't bother arguing with her, just focused on delivering the remaining orders. However, I had to admit one thing. Lucy was truly the most brazen person in the world. Somehow, she managed to sweet-talk the other canteen owners into hiring her for room delivery. The owners, seeing my cold noodle shop doing well with deliveries, decided to follow suit. So I wore a red uniform, Lucy wore a blue one, and we both raced to deliver food. Lucy's menu was much more diverse than mine, offering all sorts of dishes, and her number of orders was also higher than mine. Whenever she saw me rushing to the elevator, she would deliberately place her pile of food on the floor, frantically pressing the close button. Just as the elevator door was about to fully close, I quickly used my pinky finger to press the open button, just barely squeezing inside. Gasping for breath, I glanced at the disheveled food boxes, a little soup having spilled out, and subtly reminded her, "You have so many orders, why don't you ask some other friends to help you deliver? Doing it alone like this will cause delays, and customers will complain." Not only did Lucy not thank me, but she scoffed, "You're just jealous I have more orders, aren't you?" But then everything came to light. I had just finished delivering cold noodles and returned to the canteen. The noodle vendor handed me a cold bottle of water, pointing across the way. Several other canteen owners were gathered, scolding Lucy mercilessly. "What kind of delivery are you doing? The food has spilled out everywhere. Customers are sending pictures complaining like crazy. How can we even charge them anymore?" Lucy maintained a calm expression as if nothing was wrong, arguing defiantly. "What does that have to do with me? You guys had so many orders and kept rushing me like crazy. I'm already doing great delivering on time. The food isn't spoiled, it just spilled a tiny bit outside the box. Students these days really make a big deal out of everything." The problem was that the school used plain white paper boxes for food containers. Lucy only wrapped them in a thin plastic bag. If even a little soup or food spilled out, it was very easy for it to get on clothes or books when unboxing. The owners were furious, but could do nothing, so they snapped, "Consider today's delivery fee unpaid." However, the canteen managers clearly underestimated Lucy's resilience and stubbornness. Hearing their refusal, she didn't flinch but immediately pointed at them and loudly declared, "I work for you, so of course I should be paid fairly. If you don't pay, I'll sue you and have this canteen shut down, you'll see." The owners' faces turned pale, terrified by her assertiveness, and had no choice but to pull out money to end the matter. Immediately after receiving the money, Lucy didn't hesitate to post a triumphant status on her story. The feeling of earning money with my own hands is truly wonderful. Below were a series of critical, even harshly cursing comments. Wonderful my foot, my rice spilled all over the plastic bag, and when I unwrapped it, it ruined my new doll. Another person was frustrated. The chopsticks were covered in grease, I couldn't even open them. Who can stand this kind of business? Faced with a storm of criticism, Lucy casually dropped a defiant line. Even if 1,000 people criticize me, I will never turn back. But retribution came to Lucy faster than she expected. That day, I went to pick up orders as usual, and as soon as I arrived, I witnessed a noisy scene. Lucy was arguing fiercely with the other canteen owners. It turned out that all the owners had unanimously refused to let her continue delivering. They'd rather abandon the dorm delivery service altogether than continue to be involved with her. Out of a job, Lucy turned to curse at each of them. You people are just quitters. With this kind of business, no wonder you never get anywhere. If you don't let me deliver, fine, I wouldn't bother delivering for you anyway. The owners maintained cold expressions, completely ignoring her venomous words. They knew that arguing with Lucy was a waste of time and useless. Silence and pretending to be deaf was the best way to deal with her. After Lucy left, looking at the gloomy faces of the owners, an idea suddenly sparked in my mind. I approached. The cold noodle vendor thought I also wanted to take on all the delivery orders like Lucy and quickly tried to dissuade me. Mia, don't do that, kiddo. You won't be able to handle it. If customers complain, I won't be able to help you. I shook my head, reassuring him and telling him not to worry. When I suggested that I could introduce other friends to join the dorm food delivery, the owners' eyes lit up brightly. They slapped their thighs, exclaiming, "Why were we so stupid? Who said only one person could deliver? There are so many students, just replace her with someone else." The cold noodle vendor, standing behind me, handed me a cold drink with a straw already in it, saying, moved, "Mia, you really have a quick mind. Not only can we find female delivery people, but we can also recruit guys. The male dorms also need delivery people." And so, I quickly posted a recruitment announcement for food delivery drivers for the canteen on the school's confession group. The pay was still $2 per order, and if diligent, one could earn $50–60 a day. As soon as the news was posted, many students eagerly signed up. Within just a few days, all sorts of delivery uniforms in red, yellow, and blue appeared around the school, a bustling and vibrant sight. When there were no orders, we gathered at the canteen to chat about who ran the most orders today, who delivered the wrong order, who got rejected by a customer. Meanwhile, Lucy tried to get back into delivery. But this time, she was outright rejected by all the owners. Out of a job, no money from her parents, and her aid cut. The phrase she once posted, "One meal reveals true hearts, so worth it," truly became a prophecy for herself. Then things got even worse. One day, many students in the delivery group complained that they had stomachaches after eating the delivered food. Some even had to be hospitalized. The owners panicked and immediately summoned all the delivery drivers to question them. "Did you guys add anything to the food today?" The group of drivers looked bewildered, shaking their heads vigorously in denial. The cold noodle vendor stepped forward, sighing, "It's not that I suspect you all, but this is truly strange. The students who got stomachaches ate food from different shops. It's impossible for all of them to have a problem." The owners even kept food samples for testing, and the results showed nothing abnormal. This was also because the school immediately intervened, temporarily suspending the canteen's operations and ordering food from outside shops as a replacement. Just then, the dorm supervisor, accompanied by several police officers, rushed in. "Where is Lucy? She dared to put laxatives and mold into students' food. How audacious!" It turned out that because we received more orders, more students were ordering food. Usually, after delivering the food, we would leave it outside the dorm room doors and go to deliver other orders. Lucy had taken advantage of this opportunity to secretly put laxatives and mold into the food of students who picked up their meals late. As a result, a series of students suffered stomachaches and food poisoning after eating. Fortunately, the hallway had surveillance cameras, and the evidence was clearly recorded. Faced with undeniable evidence, Lucy could no longer make excuses, only looking at me with eyes full of hatred. "Mia, if you had treated me to that bowl of cold noodles that day, if you hadn't demanded payment, I wouldn't be in this predicament. I hate you." Finally, Lucy was taken away by the police for questioning. Since she was of legal age, she would be severely punished according to the law. The canteen reopened a few days after its temporary suspension. The school even contacted some IT students to develop a mini food ordering app. Now, we no longer needed to receive orders via group chat, but could use the app to accept orders, and the pay was transferred directly. Everything became much more convenient. The cold noodle vendor again handed me a bottle of cold drink. "Mia, we truly thank you." I waved my hand. "It's nothing, uncle." I have to go deliver more orders now. Donning my red delivery uniform, I turned and strode off to continue delivering meals.